So we've talked about hooking up the Soil-Clik sensor to the Hunter controllers, but if you plan on using it in conjunction with either a wireless solar sync or a hardwired solar sync, we'll be hooking things up a little bit differently. Soil-Clik with solar sync is a great combination because while solar sync adjusts runtimes according to the climate conditions, the Soil-Clik prevents irrigation when the soil is still too wet. When connecting the Soil-Clik module to an X-Core or Pro-C controller that will have a solar sync connected, instead of connecting the Soil-Clik white wires to the sensor terminals as instructed before, you will need to interrupt the common wire. The controller's sensor terminals will be dedicated to the solar sync sensor as usual, so we'll use a common interrupt to let the Soil-Clik inhibit watering. To interrupt the common wire, snip the common wire, connect the one white wire from the Soil-Clik module to each of these stripped ends. The connection is now complete. So if you're connecting your Soil-Clik sensor to an I-Core system that's already using either a wireless or a hardwired solar sync, we're going to have to configure both devices in the face pack separately. As well, with the I-Core, we have at least 2, if not 3, independent sensor inputs that we can physically connect the hardware to. As usual, when connecting a solar sync to an I-Core controller, the solar sync sensor wires must be connected to a set of sensor terminals at the controller so that the controller can respond to rain and freeze inputs. Since we are incorporating another sensor and the I-Core controller has more than one set of sensor inputs, you can connect the Soil-Clik to the second set of sensor terminals, S2 or S3 in the metal version of this controller. Once the solar sync is connected to S1 and Soil-Clik to S2, you need to configure them at the face pack. First, make sure that the seasonal adjustment function is delegated to SolarSync on all programs you want SolarSync to control. Keep in mind that this is done by program, so you may have to have a program that contains all the stations that you don't wish to be controlled by SolarSync. Also, be sure to have SYN1 configured as SolarSync and SYN2 or 3 configured as Clik. This is done by turning the dial to Advanced Features, selecting Sensor Configuration, and changing SYN1 to SolarSync. As far as SYN2, you can leave it as Clik, since Soil-Clik is a Clik-type sensor. Finally, you need to indicate which stations will be affected by Soil-Clik sensor. This is done in the Set Sensor Operation dial position. Here you can designate the sensors you wish to enable for each station. For example, if you want Station 1's runtime to be adjusted based on data collected by SolarSync, but you don't want it to be kept off by Soil-Clik if moisture is detected in the soil, then you can leave the check mark on SYN1 to keep the SolarSync sensor active, but remove it from SYN2 to disable Soil-Clik on this particular station. Remember, this is done station by station. So when connecting a Soil-Clik sensor to an ACC controller that also uses SolarSync, we'll want to hook the two systems up separately on their own sensor terminals and map each of the pieces separately in the face pack. The SolarSync sensor connects through the ET terminals on ACC controllers. Often the SolarSync rain function is mapped to one of the 4 sensor terminals, usually S1. Sometimes the freeze function is also mapped to another terminal such as S2. You may then connect Soil-Clik to any unused sensor terminals in the controller. In the ACC, it is quite possible to have 2 or 3 different Soil-Clik modules connected to different Clik terminals. In this way, you can have different sensors shut down different programs, corresponding to different areas of the landscape. If you need more information, consult the owner's manual or look us up at hunterindustries.com for more support. And thanks for watching.